how committed are you to actually becoming exceptional at what you do? That's what we're going to talk about in today's episode. Hey, what's up, my friend? Todd Falcone here. Welcome back to another episode. I want to talk a little bit about commitment to being exceptional today. So most people who follow me are probably involved in the direct selling network marketing profession. I do have other entrepreneurs that follow me, but this is really aimed at you guys, those that are involved in network marketing. So it's interesting to me how when I go speak at an event, for example, the discovery of how few people really are committing to becoming exceptional at what they do, and also, quite frankly, doing, even not being exceptional and just going through the basic but very important activities of building a business. It's like I did an event a couple weeks ago, and it's like almost 100% of the room admitted that they let multiple days pass without doing any type of revenue producing activity. And it's like, wait, you're here at this event, you want to be successful, but you literally are letting multiple days pass without doing anything to build your business. And that's mind boggling to me. And so, it's interesting, like when I started doing network marketing 30 something years ago, I had never heard of it. I saw it. It made sense to me. I liked the idea of it. And I wanted to be good at it. And so I showed up for the Saturday trainings, and I looked at other people that were very successful, and I listened to what individuals who were better than me were telling me to do, and I would go and do that. I didn't say, no, I'm going to do it my own way. I was a student of the game. So my question for you really is like, how much of a student are you? How committed are you to becoming exceptional? I mean, you can be dull, and it's like the dull knife that's never been sharpened. And if you ever used a dull knife, they're not very good at cutting through things. I mean, ever taken a tomato with a completely dull knife and you're sitting there and you're trying to saw through the skin of a tomato and you can't even get the knife through it. But then if you just take the time to sharpen the edge of that knife, it just simply and easily cuts through the tomato. It's like, we got to be sharpening our saw. And look, I don't teach this stuff and not do it myself. Like the level of commitment that I made and have continued to make over the years of, being good at network marketing, being good at speaking on the platform, being good at performing in front of a camera. These are things that don't necessarily just come naturally and you're great the very first time. And even like right now, for example, like I'm spending I'll just say a lot of hours daily, every day, from early in the morning, and then I, finish up doing this stuff at night. Working on, there's one particular thing that I'm working on where I want to be exceptional at this thing, and it's like, I mean, the last 2.5 months, I've spent hours and hours and hours and hours studying, researching, understanding, and like something that I never did before. I'm not going to get into what that is, but it's like, it's incredibly complex. It's difficult. It's far more difficult than, figuring out how to talk to people in network marketing. And I have like made this really deep commitment. Like, I'm going to do this until I get it, until I understand it. And I've had some breakthroughs, and I've like, okay, I got this. This is cool. Not completely. I know I've got a lot of work to do to really comprehend how to maximize profits in this activity that I'm doing, which has nothing to do with network marketing at all. But what I just want you to think, like, okay, you want to be good at network marketing. Like, okay, what are you doing to get good? Like, what are you doing to become truly exceptional? It would be worth journaling on. It would be worth sitting down with yourself and going, okay, what am I doing here, man? Like, how seriously am I treating this thing? Like, how committed am I to really being good at this thing? And maybe there are other things in your life that you've issued the same degree of commitment, but that maybe that you're not necessarily in your network marketing business, and see how you flourished over there. Like, I can think, like, the first thing that's coming up in my mind for some reason is like steelhead fishing. So I've been fishing my whole life. I've been fishing since I was a little kid. My dad took me to a trout farm, I think when I was like 4 or 5 years old was the first time I went fishing. And I got hooked on fishing, and I'm still hooked on fishing. And about 20 years ago, I went steelhead fishing for the very first time. And, it's kind of funny, like people who don't steelhead fish are like, oh, that's like this fish that you're lucky to catch one in your lifetime, and they're so difficult to catch. And I wanted to know how to catch these fish. They're basically a steelhead is a sea-run rainbow trout that's born in the river, goes out to the ocean for a few years, gets really big, and then comes back up to the river to spawn. They look like salmon. A lot of people think that they're salmon, but they're not. They're actually a sea-run rainbow trout, if we're going to be technical. And so when I went fishing the first time for steelhead, I didn't know what I was doing. I'd never used this gear before, and we're drifting down a river. We're casting at a particular angle, using particular a weight with a leader and something at the end of that leader. And then I had to learn the tech, like where to cast and what to feel for when your weight is tapping along the bottom, and how to actually make the leaders and tie the leaders and make sure you're tying them in such a way that they don't break. And then the bait, like anytime I would get salmon eggs, I had to cure salmon eggs. And then at the end of the process, processing the fish, like filleting it properly. And then I smoke a lot of my fish. So how to brine the fish. And it's like all these things, like this is like a fun activity, right? But I made a commitment to, like, I want to get good at it. So like, I don't know, like I think you have to have a hunger and this really insane desire to like master the craft. And so my question to you really today is, how hungry are you to really figure this game out? Because here's the deal, guys. I mean, seriously, like network marketing is not that hard. It's not that hard. I mean, I'm not saying there's not going to be hard days and hard months and maybe even hard years, but like what we do in network marketing ain't that hard, man. It's not. It's not. I mean, all we do is we talk to people about how they can improve the quality of their life through the products that you market and through the financial opportunity that exists with your company because you have products. So I just want you to think about that for a second and take some time to journal on it, because from my perspective, the masses of people that are involved in this business, unfortunately, like the what's the phrase? Success leaves clues. Like I can see the clues and the clear signs that the majority of people that are involved in this business are just going through the motions. And it's kind of like, I mean, the thought that just came to mind is kind of like, I'm taking you fishing, and I'm taking you steelhead fishing, and you bring out a Zebco, $20 rod and reel with a 5-foot rod that would never hold a steelhead, and you're throwing out a red wiggler worm, like just going through the motions, because that's what you did before when you were a little kid fishing for bluegill. And you're like just whipping out this little thing, and you're like with a bobber, bobbing along down the river or something, a little red and white bobber. It's like, wait, you're just going through the motions. So you can't win here just going through the motions. You have to decide that you're going to be exceptional. It was interesting because and anybody who's truly exceptional at something is going to tell you they worked their ass off to get there. And I remember being at one of Eric Worre's events like probably 6 or 7 years ago, and he had he had 4 guys that he brought up on the stage, all who were at the very, very, very top of their game. Like one was like Daniel Negreanu, who's like a world-class poker player. 3 other people. One was like a top surgeon in the world. I don't remember what the other 2 were. And the interesting thing that they all said, and then one of them was Rob Dyrdek, the skateboarding guy who's also an amazing entrepreneur. And they all said they weren't backstage hearing each other, but they all said the same word. They were all like, hey, I became obsessed with getting as good as I possibly can. And I just think that's really interesting. Like, how obsessed are you? Or are you just going through, you can't just go through the motions here. It's going to cost you money. It's going to cost you relationships, and you're not going to make money here. So you got to work on, like, I'm going to be as good as I can, and I'm going to invest time. And my question is, how much time are you investing? Actual, like, time that you've set aside that this is me working on my craft, me really purposefully sharpening my saw, to a razor's edge, so that the time that you then put into the business is significantly more effective than if you're just, I'm just smacking pasta up against the wall, and I'm just like, hey, you're like going through the motions. You ain't gonna make no money doing that. I'm just telling you. This is gonna cost you money. It's not gonna be cool. So those are my thoughts for the day. I appreciate you guys. If you're on my YouTube channel, what's up, YouTubers? Appreciate you guys. If you're on my podcast, listening to me on audio, love you guys as well. All the details on this episode, other stuff that can help you be successful as an entrepreneur in network marketing are right here at toddfalcone.com/episode 269. That's TODDFALCONE.com/episode 269. We'll see you next time.